Welcome to Kilowatt, the show about horror movies and questionable humor. That's right, ladies and germs, boys and ghouls, mesdames, messieurs. We're bringing Kilowatt back from the grave. I don't know, I guess I just wanted to differentiate the more in-depth reviews that take me forever to make with the sillier, shorter content where I mostly riff slasher movies. Plus, there's the versus videos and the watching every blank movie videos. We got content for days, so let me know if that's a good format for you. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe and click that bell notification to never miss a video ever. Today's movie is none other than 1984's The Mutilator, directed by Buddy Cooper. Doesn't that just sound like the loveliest name? Yeah, I'm friends with my buddy Cooper, and he's a real cougar. So back in 1984, my Buddy Cooper, had like $80,000 and he decided to make a film.
We'll make a movie.
So he gathered a small crew, some of which were film students. He rented a little cabin near Atlantic Beach, and by golly, he shot the damn thing. A damn thing that I'm going to review. But before that, what's this film about? So in this quiet little country house, a lady is preparing a cake for her husband's birthday, and their kid Ed, oh this little Ed, he wants to impress daddy. Don't we all? By cleaning his mighty impressive collection of guns. Before that though, might as well try shooting one of them in the house. I don't see what could go wrong. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, naturally, Daddy's not too happy about this, as you can see here. Yeah, that'll teach him. You know, it's been one hell of a day. I think I deserve a little drink. There you go, honey.
I wanted to bring her back. And I thought maybe pouring whiskey down her throat might bring her back, you know.
Yeah, kind of a strange, awkward opening. I mean, what's happening is pretty horrifying, but the way it's executed, kind of a little bit weird, isn't it? Many years later, Ed's all grown up now, hanging with his pals, messing around during fall break.
Fall break, and here we sit.
And they're very interesting and fleshed out.
Right.
So here's the setup. Ed hasn't been very close to his dad since the incident. But all these years later, Ed's a crazy old man who shoved whiskey down his wife's corpse, which didn't bring her back to life,
Dad
calls Ed out of nowhere, asking him to take care of the family condo near the beach.
Dad?
And this means the kids now have the perfect fall break party ahead of them. But, unbeknownst to them, it might just be their last, because they're gonna die.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, don't worry, everything's fine. It's all good. So on the road trip they go, and the title here says Fall Break, although my Blu-ray says The Mutilator. So here it says Fall Break. I guess there's really two titles. Hey Daddy. I don't know what happened there, but I gotta say, Fall Break would have been a very appropriate title, seeing how the main song of the film really hits home that it is, in fact, Fall Break.
Going on now.
A fall break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight.
This is a horror film. So here they are finally at this little cabin near the beach where the whole movie will take place. Everything was filmed on location in Atlantic Beach, and there is this sense of middle of nowhere chilling spot for teens to drink beer and play games. It's at least a little bit different than a summer camp. So in the cabin they go, and it's fun and all, but something seems a little fishy here, and I'm not talking about that big fish on the wall there. Turns out this place might not be the paradise our group thought it was going to be, because Ed's crazy dad is actually hanging out in the garage with his battle axe, and he's dreaming of various ways he could murder his own son. Like, what, 15 years later, he's still dreaming of ways to end his child's life.
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's no mystery in this film. We know right from the start that the killer is the dad who, 15 years later, wanted revenge on his son for some reason. And if you weren't convinced that the dad was a crazy killer, well, he's got a framed picture of a guy he gruesomely killed in an accident.
Yeah, my dad ran over him with a ski boat.
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable.
Now, you'll notice that there's a fishing theme throughout this film, and that's because the crazy dad loves to, well, fish. I like that aspect, foreshadowing the various murder weapons right from the start. But that being said, can somebody tell me why the dad's go-to weapon that he sleeps with is a fucking fantasy battle axe? What does this have to do with fish? You're weird, Daddy. Still love you though.
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable.
It's time to get some action, and this couple will do just that. Oh yeah, baby, they got a lovely romantic beach right next to the cabin, but you bet your ass they'll instead go swim naked in this shitty pool filled with milk.
It probably prevents herpes.
And yes, the water actually was filled with milk so that it would look murky and the killer could be hidden. Weird stuff. Well, it does lead to our first kill, besides for the mom, of course. But I'm sorry to say, it's a long build-up that ends up being a tremendous disappointment, unfortunately. The lovebirds play around in water, it's cheesy and all.
Herpes.
But then, uh-oh, she gets pulled down and she drowns in this horribly ugly, artificially slowed down shot that looks like shit. Honestly, a whole lot of setup for what ends up being pure garbage. Seriously, you guys didn't want to fuck on the beach instead? Hey, at least we got the gratuitous tit shot right before, but still, you can do better than that. Now, they did plan something a little bit more exciting at first. This Linda character here was actually supposed to be stabbed by a spear gun. They even made fake torsos and stuff, but it ended up not working.
And so we drowned her. And it worked well.
Yeah, well isn't the word I would have used. But fear not, for Linda's death was the big stinger in the film. The rest is actually pretty good. Kinda like when this guy gets the axe, or rather the chainsaw. Not only is this fun because of its gory goodness, but also because he looks like he's jizzing his pants the whole time, which adds a little extra. And then at the end, a full-on whatever the fuck this is. What a legendary way to go. And great effects too.
Now this is getting interesting.
And then a random cop shows up. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey kids, are you up to any trouble? Alright, I am going to die now. I gotta say, the fake head ain't too bad at all. Back at the cabin, our group of kids decide to play this boring little game that's kinda like hide and seek, but not really. It's very long, it drags the pacing so much, but it does lead to some decent tension when the killer shows up. Decent stuff overall, Mutilator. This useless scene out of the way, this guy here, Ralph, with the greatest chest hair I have ever seen, starts looking for the missing couple.
Is that right?
Yeah. Do you know what he finds instead? A fucking pitchfork in the neck.
It was fun. It took, all night to kill me. The only negative that I have to say about dying was the goop that they used for blood. It was like pulling chest hairs out when I had to take the shirt off. So that was the only thing uncomfortable about the whole affair.
Oh no, not his precious chest hair. Love it. Guess what happens next? The last 3 survivors also go look for everybody that's missing.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now the next one to be killed is this lady here, Sue. I guess she ain't a Mary Sue, cause she really fucking gets it. I'll be the first to admit, this kill really made me squeamish. Like a lot. The lady gets stabbed in her lady parts, you know? And then he chops her up with his silly fantasy battle axe. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable.
This does bring us to the epic finale of The Mutilator. Our 2 remaining characters, Ed and Pam, try to escape, and the Mutilator keeps on wanting to mutilate. Go figure. We get a silly action scene here. Actually, replace silly with shitty. But Pam's had enough of that shit. Yeah, she'll show him by throwing small thingies at him. Effective. But turns out, stabbing him directly in the heart is a little bit more effective. Just a little bit.
Is that right?
Nope, it was actually useless, because he's back. Still trying to hack these people to death. It looks like all hope is lost, but here's what happens. Here's what goddamn happens. The car backs up, and Daddy gets hit hard. So hard, in fact, that his body is split in half. But that's not even the best part. No, the best part is when a cop shows up and Dad chops his leg off with his giant silly fantasy axe. And his bottom half missing. What am I even watching anymore? I don't know. Anyways, the couple's in the hospital and it just kinda ends. So the kills in this one, they were pretty damn good. There's just this stinker here. It smells bad. Obviously they wanted to have something more complex, but they ran out of time and whatever, but it's still disappointing nonetheless.
And it works well.
Everything else, though, ranges from great to squeamish-inducing nightmare. You truly have your good old cheesy 80s gore fest here that I live for. Them limb cut-offs and them fake torsos, neck appliances, decent-looking fake heads. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the kills 17 kilowatts out of 100. The killer, known as Daddy, yeah, he was kind of a letdown. For one, he doesn't wear a mask, and he doesn't have any cool makeup and prosthetics. I think that's just a me thing, but automatically it takes some points away for me. The killer's costume is literally dad person. Otherwise, his character, it kinda sucks. He doesn't seem fueled by revenge or anger like his motivation should indicate. No, he looks more like a homeless drunk who just wants to sleep but he keeps getting woken up. There's also all these questions like, why does he kill all the friends too and not just his son? Why did he wait so many years before finally getting revenge?
My dad.
What are you doing, Daddy? Just overall a pretty weak explanation for the plot to keep moving. And of course, since we know right from the start that he's the killer, it kills any suspense or mystery. No pun intended. The only good thing here is the actual performance from Jack Chatham? How the fuck do you say that name? He pulls some seriously good faces. Like just the perfect things to freeze frame. Put that as a wallpaper. And I do appreciate that he's just fucking evil and he enjoys it. I'll give good old Daddy here 7 kilowatts out of 20. Sorry, Dad. So how about this script? You know, it's the most slasher film of slasher films. A group of kids want a party, they go to a house, the killer starts picking them out one by one. That's about it.
Sounds good to me.
I'll say this though, despite my joke earlier, the characters are okay-ish. They're not fleshed out nor interesting, but the thing they got going for them is that they feel genuine, like real stupid teenagers having fun. The cop character though, exists literally only to be killed. That's okay though, the kill is fun. But I am very let down with the climax between Ed and his father.
It's my dad.
I just wish there could have been a more satisfying confrontation, like maybe the dad saying, I always knew this day would come, or maybe, you should have died that day, not your mother, something like that. Overall, just, yeah, pretty mediocre.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'll give the screenplay 10 kilowatts out of 20. What about the aesthetics? Well, firstly, these practical effects water my mouth, whatever that means. They feed me with gory, gutsy goodness, and I like that. But as for the looks, I do really like this cabin near a beach in a nearly abandoned town. Like I said, it's a nice change for once.
Nice change, isn't it?
The fact that everything's filmed on location and that everything pretty much takes place in one single location, it's effective. My main issue would probably be the clunky editing that got distracting after a while. It just felt awkward.
No!
For the most part, even though this is supposed to be taking place during fall, I don't see any pumpkin, bitch. No, it has much more of a fun summer slasher vibe, and I'm in for it. I'll give the aesthetics 14 kilowatts out of 20. Right, lastly, how fun is this Mutilator movie? Well, you know, it's okay. It's mostly just a boring slasher with lots of padding, an interesting setup that never pays off, a couple decent kills, but awkward editing and execution. The true one hero in this movie, though, is and remains the ever so catchy Fall Break song. We're going on a fall break! All in all though, I mostly likely will never watch this again, but it did entertain me for an hour and a half, and although I am disappointed seeing how much more it could have been, especially with our antagonist and his relationship with the main character, I can still say that I had a good time. I'm gonna give the entertainment value 10 kilowatts out of 20. At the end of our journey, the Mutilator, or Fall Break if you prefer, racked up the blandest 58 kilowatts out of 100. Okay. Nor great nor terrible, the Mutilator is a decent time, perhaps even better with a couple of friends, but ultimately there's plenty of fish in the sea, and some of them are better than this stinky one. Alright, time to get back to my cold, empty crypt for a little while, but until next time, keep watching horror movies. It's good for your health. Bye-bye.
A fall break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight. We'll breathe the sweet salt air, I swear.